And welcome back to the WCHE Morning Show. I'm Erik Lambera, joined by Barry D. And we have a special guest on the phone with us. Casey Costigan is a Westchester University alum who is currently working on a brand new movie, and he is here with us to talk about it on air. Thank you, Casey, so much for your time this morning.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we'll jump right in here. Can you give us a brief overview of Westchester, the movie's plot, and what inspired this story here?
Yeah, so for Westchester, the movie, it's about these two historians that are trying to save the Farmers and Mechanics building in town from being torn down. And a big part of this movie and like the inspiration for it was, well, we were just trying to incorporate the history of Westchester. And the Farmers and Mechanics building had a lot of historical moments, like from its history. It's the founding place of the Boy Scouts of America. And at one point, it was the tallest building in town. And we chose this because, we tried to get the historical center first, but they had an incident like about a year ago that was very similar to the plot of this film, where their building was almost torn down. So they didn't want to have that again. But so then we walked over to the Farmers and Mechanics building, and we're like, can we use this? And they're like really ecstatic about it. The girl there, Nikki, she's great. That's kind of how that happened.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you had sent me the plot before. I think it sounds like a great plot. And of course, you mentioned they're trying to turn it in the film to similar to like a Wawa, right?
Yeah. So we didn't want to use the word Wawa because
right.
That could cause problems. So we decided to use this fictional place called Quick and Stop. My writer Ian came up with that, and I think honestly that works pretty well. Kind of reminds me of like Sheets even a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely can see the, not wanting to use the Wawa name, of course, with legal reasons and all that. I think that name there, Quick and Stop, definitely fits well. So let me talk about the partnership. So how did the partnership between the borough of Westchester, Westchester University, and Costigan Pictures come about?
Okay, so so it was kind of my internship for college. My friend was like, "Oh, you should do this internship thing," and I was like, "All right, yeah, why not?" I didn't think it was gonna go anywhere, to be honest. I didn't even think I was gonna do it once I got it. But I had a few interviews, and then I had an interview with the borough with this guy Keith Karowski. He's a great guy. We had an in-person interview one day, and just on the spot, I was just like, while I was waiting, I'm like, what should I do? He wanted me to make like these videos, like just interviewing people in the town, and I was just thinking about how I would do that, but I was also like, I feel like there's a better way of doing this. What if we made a movie? And thank God I thought of that, because that was a really good idea, because once I pitched it to Keith, he's like, oh, this is awesome. We should do this. And I own Costigan Pictures. I'm the founder, if you want to call that. We've kind of just since April been putting the film together. We've had multiple fundraisers for it. That's kind of what we've been doing. And it's been a whole long process for it. And I've had experience with making movies over the last couple of years. But this is definitely my biggest project that I've done yet. And I really am grateful and thankful to God for letting me do this. Yeah.
So can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Casey, have you actually started shooting yet, or you're still in the planning stages to start shooting? We
just started shooting actually on Sunday. We shot basically the first two scenes of the film.
Mm-hmm.
They went great, other than it was extremely hot out. My legs are still recovering from all the running I did.
Do you need some strikingly handsome radio announcers to come in and act, be in there to talk about covering the fact that it might be demolished in your film at all? I know a couple guys that might be interested in that.
Yeah.
We do have faces for radio.
So I've heard.
I I did take a radio class when I was back at like a few semesters ago at Westchester, and it was fun. Dr. T's awesome. But yeah, no, if you guys ever want to I do have a little news reporter role if you guys are ever
there you go, Eric, that's all you.
There we go.
He doesn't even pay Screen Actors Guild minimum, so it's right in his budget, I'm sure.
There we go.
That'll work out well. Real quick, technical wise, how many cameras are you using?
So we technically have two, but technically we have three. Okay. One is for just like behind the scenes stuff that we're taking photos for and posting to our Instagram or on our
social
Facebook,
media.
Which
sure.
And we have the main one, which is our Black Magic camera.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, that one is a monster. We're shooting the whole film in 4K. We went through 3 SD cards in one day.
Oh, you go through them fast, man. Fast. It eats data.
Yeah, I know. I just ordered a terabyte SD card, which I didn't even know they made those until like a few weeks ago.
I didn't realize it either. They got to be a fortune.
Yeah, it was like $150 for that, which, again, I wouldn't have been able to do if it wasn't for the fundraising the people donated for this movie. And the SD cards have definitely taken up a chunk of the money that we raised. But yeah.
So you're using camcorders and you're not using regular camera bodies. You're using camcorders. Well,
so the Black Magic is, it's not exactly a camcorder. I wish I could give you a more like technical rundown of it. I'm not the one shooting the movie. My buddy Ian, he's like the tech guy.
Sure.
He is using a new gimbal that I got. And it's been helpful a lot. There's just so many moving components we needed to get for this movie. And I honestly didn't realize like just how much effort and stuff was going to go into this one. Cause, typically on a costume pictures project, we have a very small budget.
Sure.
Typically it doesn't go over like $100 or $200. This one, we raised over $1,500 so far.
Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
Are you any iPhone work or drone work?
So iPhone wise, I mean, there's been like occasionally our guy Gabe Stokes. He's been taking photos along with his camera as well. Just behind the scenes stuff. That's the furthest of iPhone footage, if you want to call it. But drone footage, as of now, not yet, but I did just talk with somebody who has a drone, and they are coming to filming this weekend. So we might get some aerial shots.
Yeah, don't be afraid to reach out on that stuff. I'll tell you, the iPhone stuff, it works far better than people give it credit for. There's a lot of good uses for that, and drone footage. You got to throw some of that in. It's classic stuff. It really opens up your movie potential. When you start doing a little bit of aerial stuff, it gets rid of having to have towers and things like that. It's really cool to have that. That would be awesome to see something like that if you get that in there.
Yeah, I'd love to. I hope I can.
Yeah, that's very cool. Go ahead, Erik.
Yeah, so I'm just going to jump back in there. So you mentioned fundraising efforts and how you guys haven't raised a lot of money. So what are some ways that listeners can support the film, whether it's through donations or even just spreading the word about it? Do you guys have social media platforms and campaigns currently going on?
Yeah, so we have a whole Facebook page for just Westchester the movie. If you just look up on Facebook Westchester the movie, it'll come up. If you look up my name on Instagram or even Facebook or Google, you'll find me, and just look up Casey Costigan Westchester. You'll find more stuff. You'll find the link to the GoFundMe. That's what we've been using to raise most of the money, and then the fundraisers, of course. We were just at the mini golf tournament or mini golf thing in town a few weeks ago, and then we were at the Turk's Head Festival beginning of June. So that's kind of how you can contribute. Just try to spread the word, talk about it with people. The film itself, we have a deadline for at the end of the year to come out. It's because it's a part of the 225th anniversary of the borough. Keith wants it to have done by the end of the year, and we're trying to get it shown in a couple places, and if possible. But yeah.
And going off that note, so you're working on getting it shown at Uptown. Can you tell us more about that process?
Yes. So funny enough, I used to work at Uptown. I was a house manager and a box office manager there. And after I'd left there, I actually hadn't talked to any of the people there in like over a year. And then I'm just like, it'd be cool if we showed it there. So I went up and I talked to my old manager, and I reached out to the person who's in charge of the events, and we're working on getting it for a Sunday matinee in December right now. So far, we're just working out like the details about everything, but it's looking good right now. It looks like we're going to be securing a date soon. Once that's secured, of course, I'll announce it once we have all the details finalized. But yeah, so.
Yeah, definitely let me know. I would love to check it out, one, and then have you on sometime around that time if you do get it on December. And I think that's a great way, as you mentioned, to try to get it out the same year as the 225th anniversary. I think that would be great. So the next question I have here, so you're both a director as well as an actor in this movie. So how did you balance these roles? I know you're not done shooting it yet, but so far, how have you been balancing roles, and which did you find more challenging?
So I think it really just comes down to, having Ian. Ian, I worked with him since 2019. Typically, it's just one of us directing a project. And I've directed projects that I've been in before. It's not easy. It definitely is difficult. But because I have him with me, it's just a lot more easier to also be in it. Originally, I wasn't even going. He wanted me to be in it originally, and I said yes, but then I said no because I was like, I feel like it's going to be a lot. But then the person who was supposed to play the role that I'm now playing, I guess dropped out. So I was just like, all right, I'll do it. I will say it's quite a bit. It's difficult, just switching back and forth, especially when we've been filming in this heat outside. It's been really strenuous about the whole thing because it's just been so hot, and it's not looking like it's getting any better. So I'm just kind of relying on, if I have some input that he doesn't have any input on, then I'm just like, I'll step in. It's really been like a group collaboration on this thing. We've even some people in the cast have given some ideas, and we kind of just been helping each other out directing this thing. If that kind of answers your question. Yeah. I know that's not a direct answer.
It's tough, Casey. When you're trying to do something like that, the thing was always you're trying to get people together to do this, and the budget's low, the money's not there for anything like that, and so the best you can offer in a lot of those cases is 3 hots and a cot, and in your case, probably not even the cot. People are just doing it to do it, right? And to at least get something that if the movie ends up being kind of a little nice cult thing locally, it's recognition to build a resume. But it's very difficult to get people locked in and get commitments out of people, especially now. It's so difficult to find people that will stick with you. They're like, yeah, I can give you a day. Well, I need more than a day. It's very difficult. I feel for you. It's a hell of a job you're doing to put this commitment together.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work, and I wouldn't be able to do it without my team and Jesus and just everybody that's in my life. I'm just glory to God, glory to God, and just I'm so grateful for everything that I've gotten the experience to do for this. And honestly, I'm just like I said, this is my biggest project, and I'm just really just blessed to have this experience,
Well, Eric's going to be filling out the application for the newscaster.
There we go.
We're going to get him in there. We want him in there with the WCHE embroidered shirt.
Logo.
I'll even have Terry do the embroidered shirt for you if you do this show. If you do this movie, you get in there. WCHE will put it right on the chest. I'll pay for the shirt. Terry will do the embroidery. I know she's listening right now, going, "What's he getting me into?" and then you go and you do that thing in the film. What do you have to dedicate? Half a day to your spot, something like that.
Nice little plan there going.
That's right. Listen, I'm getting them in there for you, Casey. We're gonna get your reporter. It's gonna be Erik. He's gonna do it. We're going to make sure I'm committing him to it right now. He won't let me down.
Absolutely. Casey, I had a couple more questions here as we get down to the home stretch. So a personal question here. So what has been so far the most rewarding part of working on this project for you personally?
I think it's just honestly just meeting new people. I put out a casting call like 3 different times in the past month and a half, just trying to get people for the film, and the amount of just responses I've gotten from that is just amazing. This film's cast is comprised of experienced Philadelphia actors, but also some people that just live in Westchester. There's going to be this guy playing basically the head of the borough, and he's based off of Keith Karowski, who runs the Parks and Recs department. But he's just a local in Westchester, and I met him at the Turk's Head Festival, and I was like, I think that's perfect, getting some people that actually live in Westchester to be in this movie, because at the end of the day, this is a movie about Westchester. We don't need like top tier professional actors, and not like we could afford them anyway. I think just meeting all these new people, it's just such a great experience. I love talking with people. At the Turk's Head Festival alone, I probably talked to like 200 people, and it's just been crazy just with everything.
That actually leads me to another question that I just totally came up with on the spot. If you could have any actor, and this is just spitball off the top of my head, if you could have any actor or actress play in your movie, who would it be?
Oh, man.
Kind of a loaded question, but just any favorite actors or actresses that it would be like a dream if you could get them, if you had the budget?
Oh, man. That's tough. I mean... I
kind of threw you on the spot there. I did.
This isn't even somebody who's like a well-known actor or anything, or not even an actor in general, but I worked with him a few projects ago, Vernon Odom.
Okay.
He was on 6 ABC Action News. I really wanted him for this project. He was in one of my previous films, and I've reached out to him. I'm just hoping that I can maybe squeeze him in somewhere. He's just such a great guy. And I'd love to work with him again. I know it's not a big actor or anything you're looking for, but honestly, I don't think this movie needs any big actors. I think it's good as it is. I mean, like, you can draw like the comparison to Delco, the movie, where they have actually these famous actors from HBO and all this stuff on it. But I'm not trying to make Delco the movie. I'm trying to make Westchester the movie,
I think that's a great point. And I had Vernon as well for a class and watched him on 6 ABC for a number of years. And I think that would be great if you get him in. And, we'll definitely keep us posted if you are able to get him in there. So as we wrap up here, anything else you'd like our listeners to know about the film, and any final thoughts? And if you want to give a final plug to ways that people can donate and get involved with sharing the word.
Okay. Yeah. So just keep a lookout for us, like filming. We'll be shooting Sundays and Mondays throughout the rest of the summer, all throughout town, some indoor, some outdoor. We just filmed at the Historical Center on Monday. And we're going to be shooting at the Borough and Artillery Brewery and one of the high schools. So look around for us. We'll be out shooting in town as well. And don't be afraid to ask us what we're doing, because a lot of people are like, what are these people doing? But yeah, if you want to follow for more information, check out our Facebook page, Westchester the Movie. You can also check out my YouTube channel, Costigan Pictures. That is where I post all the films. And when the film's done, it'll be posted to the borough's website. And that's kind of the big thing for this. And we posted there. But we're also probably going to try to get it into a few film festivals. I know I already talked to the people at the Westchester Film Festival about showing the first 30 minutes of it there. So, you know, I have a lot of different places this is going to go. So there's a lot to look out for the film.
Oh, absolutely. And Casey, we really appreciate your time this morning, and best of luck with the rest of the project here. We'll definitely be following.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
You got it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is Casey Costigan from Costigan Productions. Be
Pictures.
sure to say, was that right? Costigan Productions? Pictures. Make sure you can say, I knew him when we start seeing his films at Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, Tribeca, Telluride, and the like. Casey, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
We appreciate it, and thank you so much, and best of luck with everything.
Thank you.
We'll see you, brother.